Yo, welcome guys. We're just waiting for people to show up. We'll get started. But what's the start anyways? Kind of thing, right? When did the race really begin? Was it the moment that we were born, or was it before we were born? Are we always trying to keep up with something? No matter what? Is that what the definition of life is? It's a race. Always. Everybody's always looking out for numero uno, themselves. What's it really about? Hope everyone's just chilling, everyone's having a good day so far. We started off strong. This should be a relaxing time though. We're just here to seriously converse. See what's up, make predictions. Try to look at yesterday. Look at tomorrow. What's the best thing to talk about? Is there a best topic? I wonder. Something that would always keep the conversation so that you were never believing or getting caught up into something besides this idea that you're never safe, almost, but holding back from becoming paranoid or from becoming something that believes in conspiracy. You believe that it's all a conspiracy? No, maybe it's just life. Maybe fear, the general sense of fear, is what keeps us intelligent. Maybe a healthy, as they say, a healthy amount of fear with all things. Maybe you could also almost say that with people say take that with a grain of salt. Take it with a little fear. Be scared of new things. Be scared of being open. Be scared of being alone. Be scared of the moment. The moment is something that is scary to me because it almost means everything matters. The more that I am going this journey by myself, the more that I realize that it's every step I take, and it's everybody's tense. Just imagine that everybody's tense all the time. And they believe that this moment is eternal, this moment is forever. And the more that they do that, the more that they feel like you can make a mistake with something very little. Something very minuscule all of a sudden matters. And it's that idea, I think, that is probably healthy. It probably adds a healthy dose of reservation to all things. So, should I take that into consideration when I'm just talking to a screen, Wow, this coffee's hot. Some hot coffee. Wonder if anybody else on the other side of this live stream is having a cup right now, If you are, say what's up. Let me know in chat. But we hit today strong. We tried to put all these quandaries of life aside and just say, you know what, nothing means as much as doing. And then somehow we can find balance between all the philosophies of man and every book that we've read or written, all the signs that we see that maybe something is changing. I believe the biggest thing that people fear is change, but it's also the biggest thing people believe in. They want something to change, but not something else, getting into the specifics of it. They're like, change in general, I think people are afraid of, because I think general is a big term. A lot of people don't realize how big of a term something general is. That means that it's so expansive that it's almost common. So you change something that is familiar to everybody, it's very scary. But I think that people also believe in change. People want change because if you could immediately change your circumstance, then I feel like a lot of people would want that. So change is something that almost allows you to see that people believe in everybody else. It's your belief in other people that you're afraid of. And we can almost capture a sense of life right there. That there's this larger aspect, which is everybody else, and then there's this personal aspect, which is yourself. And you're much more comfortable with yourself changing than everybody else changing around you. Which is kind of weird, I feel like, if we actually think about it for a second. Because if we think about it and we allow ourselves to realize that maybe change of our own self is scary, because it elicits this idea that we're nothing, and it almost converge upon the idea of death. If we're nothing, then we're continually changing. We're not anything solid, you know. And then maybe at that point in time, the greater fears of yourself, and you believe in everything else, and finally you can kind of quiet down and believe that life is for you. And so you've almost captured the essence of what you were running from before and turned it around so that now your belief in everybody else changing is something that you believe in, because it allows you to say that you're living in something that believes in something greater than yourself if you're in a bad position. So all this stuff changes upon the position that you're in too. It's just coffee and chat though, guys. You don't have to come to any realizations or any hard or soft truths. Just the morning wake up. You know, some of the things I say are made up. That lady standing behind me for a second made it look like my hair was like poofed up. I was like, one of my hairs is like wild. Is what it looked like. Put this bandana on this morning thinking like, yeah, you know, there's one different style I can do with my hair. I can like put a bandana on it. I'm getting all these like wings though, or whatever right now. It's getting just long enough with all my curls that it just does like this, it just like wings out, does this natural like, almost like looks like a hat on my head or whatever, you know, but my hair will like fro if it gets to like the right length and the right conditions, it'll just like poof out. So is everybody awake? I hope so. Anyways, my plans for today are to finish this drink. First and foremost, finish that drink. Try to maintain some motivation, I think something that I need to work on is this task that no matter how hard life gets, I can always work on something. Whether it's reading, you know what I mean, in the most general sense. Even if you end up in prison or something like that, like there's still things you can work on. You could like work on reading or anything like that. But you know, life has levels of freedom, and we experience different moments of freedom. And I think it's about finding truth in each of those moments. What can change with yourself and with others? Maybe it's something small, maybe it's something big. And I think that your ability to navigate this world is in recognizing when it's appropriate to change what, because as much as you might fear something to change, other people do as well. But you know, you could just say it's always some personal experience or whatever. But it's hard to argue against life being normal. I'll tell you the hardest thing to like prove. It doesn't even have to be aliens. It doesn't have to be cold fusion. It doesn't have to be like free energy. But the hardest thing to prove is that life actually is abnormal. And I think that that's one of like the general laws of like nature, is that everything that's experienced on the large scale is always going to average out to be this normal experience. And so as soon as like you introduce the idea of the individual, what you're actually doing is you're inciting some sort of revolution, because everybody who all of a sudden thinks individually for themselves, they are never going to, you know, like choose some pathway that actually takes away their individuality. Yo, what's up, Presley? Yep, like and subscribe. And also, you know what I mean? If there's something you want to talk about, like something's going on in the news, like, you know, Donald Trump signed a document that is having all the news outlets call the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America, we can talk about it. I thought it was a joke. I was like, I heard him say something to like Canada, and he was like, oh yeah, Canada can become the 51st state. And I was like, well, in reality, you're not gonna just designate it as one state. Like, let's take this like realistically for a second. Canada's not gonna all be like one state. It's like inconceivable or whatever. At first you'd have to like split it up into different territories or whatever, at least 2 or whatever, you know what I mean? Not to mention like 4 maybe, but like the 51st state, no, it's like you're gonna add up to like 62 states or something like that at least, if we're taking that realistically. I feel like the joke got taken too far on that one, and it's almost like I don't know what's a joke and what isn't anymore. You know, because I thought the Gulf of America thing was a joke, you know? And it was like, oh yeah, he was like, Canada will be the 51st state, which I think everybody recognized was a joke. Maybe there's some subtle innuendo there that like, hey, we're a nation of power. So it's like, when we make a statement like that, like, it should be taken as like a sign of like dominance, like another dog, like growling at another dog or something like that. I don't see, and that's where I get hard with this idea that certain people represent like where I'm from. You know what I mean? Like I don't necessarily enjoy the idea that somebody is like speaking for me. You know, it doesn't really sit well with me. It's like I can represent myself, my beliefs, what I recognize as a landmark, as a certain line not to cross when things change. I feel like I don't necessarily need somebody, you know what I mean, like to designate and speak for me on all these things, but life is what it is. And like if there's somebody powerful enough to change like the words on a map, then probably heed it a little bit, you know, or whatever. But yeah, he then went on to say like, I'm gonna change. Canada, it's deference, bro, not Federalist America. Yeah, I know. Like Canada. I know, but it's just. I thought that was a joke completely, but I think it was more of like a growl, is what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that that's serious, but it did kind of seem like somebody, like a dog. Like if you've ever had dogs, like when dogs go to eat food, they'll like growl at other dogs around them, so that the other dogs around them know who the dominant animal is. I almost think that it had like some subtle innuendo in it, like that. Like, hey, like we're like kind of dangerous, and so like watch out when we go and get our food or something like that. You know, which in all respects is not a very good. If you're like raising dogs, you're trying to work those like traits out of a dog, because it's not a beneficial trait, you know, for what the animal is. But then he said change the Gulf of like Mexico to Gulf of America right after that, and I was like, interesting. And I heard he also signed a document. You respect General Lee, about Stonewall Jackson or Colonel Mustard, all those guys, right? Or in American folklore, I think the biggest guy in American folklore is like Johnny Appleseed and like Paul Bunyan, Davy Crockett. That's like American folklore. It's like some. It's all like It's all like wilderness stuff. It's like America is like and a lot of people do come here for like wilderness, like reasons to like see the sights. Because there is like, it's just huge, it's massive, and it's all like not changing during the whole experience you have, like the government at least. But yeah, all American stuff. It's like Paul Bunyan, Johnny Appleseed, and like, who's the other guy? Davy Crockett, Colonel Mustard, Stonewall Jackson, I'm sure General Lee, you know, like all those guys. The shot heard around the world, all that stuff. The Midnight Ride of Paul Revere, you know, all those guys. John Adams, or whatever. Or John Hancock. All those fellows. George Washington and Abe Lincoln, 7 years ago. That's, you know what, I just have a hard time with like defining, like setting up some sort of like statute of ideas that everybody adheres to, because it's like everything changes so much. Like, I get the idea of trying to create like familiarity and like this idea of like structure, but at the same point in time, it's like, who's to say that people are going to identify with this like in 20 years from now, even, you know, or whatever. It's like, that's why I said it's like I like to speak for myself, kind of, which probably designates me in some certain category. Oh, Bali, Indonesia, cool, nice to meet you. Vicky Putro. I've always heard of people going to Bali, like for a vacation. It seems like a pretty like popular place for people to go to, especially the people that live on the east, like the eastern hemisphere of the world or whatever. Bali. But yeah, that's my take on politics, kind of. I'm much more of like an independent or whatever, moderate kind of guy. Yeah, I thought that was a joke, and then like Florida, I guess, like Florida, I saw somebody in like a news report or whatever. They like said, yeah, no problem, shout out to Bali, Indonesia. I like saw in a news report that it was like somewhere in Florida was already calling it like the Gulf of America, and I was like, okay, it's not a joke, and he actually signed a paper about it. And something else that he did too was like he signed a document where it was like gender is designated at the point of like conception or something like that. But like scientifically, it was like everybody's a female until like 8 weeks or something. Like the point in which the like the embryo designates that it's a boy or a girl is like 8 weeks after inception. So it's like he just designated that everybody's technically like a female or something. It was like something he didn't look into the science and like or whatever. But I know that there's always some like push and pull with science and politics and religion. There's like three. It's like a triangle. You know what I mean? And it's like, how does the triangle look? Is it acute, isosceles, or equilateral? You know, are all these things like equal to each other? Is something more than something else? You know, kind of thing. I always wonder that. Science, politics, and religion. But thanks for the chatter. Thanks for the conversation. It gets me, hyped up. But that's something else. And the Elon Musk thing too. I can't quit thinking about like, I just thought the guy was like a little eccentric because I have an uncle. Who's an engineer, and he's kind of like braggadocious and very like opinionated, and he like says a lot of things that are very bold. And whatever else, he like says a lot of bold statements and things and whatever. I'm just like, okay, this guy's like my uncle. He's like my uncle who's an engineer as well, and he's like has all these grand visions and stuff. But then I realized that something was kind of going on when he was like, oh, it was just like, it's an accumulation of all these things, right? He was like, I'm gonna do Hyperloop, which is like this high-speed train system or whatever. He never did Hyperloop. And then all of a sudden he came out with these robots. And he was like, they're fully autonomous, but it was people operating the robots like on the other end. And then it was like he came out with, oh, I'm the world's greatest gamer. And I was like, okay, is he really doing all this stuff? I thought for a second, maybe some of his other stuff is more automatic, So like he can like sit back and play these games or whatever, but then it's like people watched him and it was like, no, he's not playing these games that much. And it was like he blatantly like tricked people. And so now he's done that like 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Like I thought you were just like eccentric and like full of visions and dreams, but I don't know anymore, kind of thing, Again, that's why I don't like people like speaking for me, and whatever else. It's like, yeah, I can paint a picture of the future, and just I feel like the natural progression of life is going to end up towards that. To some extent, you can be on the raft and like avoid obstacles, but how you steer, or whatever, like go in that general direction, kind of thing. Well, we hit a peak, guys. Our peak today was like 10. I'm keeping track of how many people come in and we converse with. So I hope everybody's having a good day so far. It's still pretty early, so make sure that you don't like just say it's, you got out and did what you're gonna do. Just make sure you go out and do everything else that you have planned. What's my name? Who are you talking to? Me or Vicky Putra? My name's Austin though. Austin, like Austin, Texas, or Austin Powers. So yeah, life's a complicated thing, It's like full of moments that make you realize everything matters, some moments that make you feel like nothing matters. The idea of when and when not to go against the grain. It's a combination of all these things. As they say, like, something that my friends always say is like, the only constant is change, which is kind of stupid, but yeah, the only constant is change. So we got Presley in here, Vicky Putro in here, or maybe still. Yeah, everyone says that. Like all my friends say that. They're like, the only, and it's like stupid, but it just means like, it's basically saying like nothing lasts forever. You might as well just say that, you know, like nothing lasts forever. So just be open to that idea, you know what I mean? That change is just around the corner kind of thing. Kind of an overcast day, you know, it'll be good to be doing something on the computer where I feel like I can get some sunshine and, you know, some lateral heat or whatever in the cold November rain. I used to just come in here and write poetry, but I think everyone that was around me got sick of it. I'm trying to kind of stay away from the pen a little bit. It's like all my language for like a minute there, for like 6 months or something, all I talked in was like riddles and like poems. It's like all I did. It was kind of interesting. It was like an interesting time in my life. It was like a very bad habit that I had to learn how to break, though. I had to relearn how to speak. Like, that's kind of crazy, huh? What kind of poetry? It was like stuff about existence and life and meaning and purpose and love and death and chaos and order. You know, all these things chaotically, but at the same point in time, nothing moves from what we can see inside ourselves. So ominously floats this thing that can sing, but every time we try to sing, our voice isn't our own because we're connecting. But can we connect with that voice that goes somewhere else? The idea that voice is a choice, and maybe my choice isn't to sound like this, then what am I? What did I miss? Stuff like that. I can just do it free verse, but just basically like talking like that, like continually. Like if you can imagine somebody like speaking like that continually to everybody, that's what I was like. And it kind of made everybody scared. Like if you could think of somebody just like speaking irrationally like all the time, it was kind of scary. Like it made everybody scared. It was like if the guy on the street corner that said like the end was near, if he was actually like saying something that like was scaring people instead. You know, it was like that guy going around and just like saying stuff that made everybody uneasy. It's not illegal. Like I wasn't doing anything illegal. I wasn't doing anything that was like crude or debased or anything that was like out of good taste. Everything, you know, was trying to point to some sense of life having a greater purpose kind of thing. But it scared a lot of people, and it scared a lot of people around me that thought they knew me. A lot of people that I've known for like 20 years all of a sudden saw me and couldn't believe that what they were hearing, you know, kind of thing. And it was just all the time. But I just, to a certain extent, I just felt like I had a muzzle put on me or something. It was like I had no voice. And so I was really trying to see if I could actually say something. If I could actually be found, like I was lost. You know, I was lost and I was trying to find my father or something like that, you know, and this idea that this thing can guide you, and it always guides you everywhere, and all you have to do is be close to that. You don't have to pay attention to anything else. And it sounds like a good thing, right? It sounds like a good thing, but it can take you to a place where you don't believe in anybody. You don't believe in anything. You just believe in being close to that. And like I said, it just scared a lot of people. I didn't hurt anybody. I didn't do anything. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Just scared everybody. Like, basically. So, you know, it kind of got me in trouble a little bit. I had to relearn how to like speak and how to communicate, and it was a very dramatic time in my life. I have videos basically during that whole time. I have videos of things, and I posted a lot of pictures of art that I did and little things that I made. I used to work with like obsidian, and I worked for like months trying to create this perfect arrowhead, because I thought all life is this thing that reduces itself to one point. And it was like trying to create one point in the most fragile material I could, which was glass, to try to advance myself, to try to say that what I am doesn't have to rely on the past. I can rely on the present. I can rely on my own 2 feet. I can rely on my hands and my head and what I believe and what I think. So I worked with this obsidian glass, and I made this arrowhead. And I thought, I'm just as ingenious as for the first man that was able to chip these rocks into something that resembled intelligence. And from that point, everything unfolds, and it's like life is actually from these singular points in which there's an expression that somehow allows it to progress to the furthest end, right? And that's what I was working on. And I would make a lot of things, and I would make a lot of crafts, arts and crafts, and I think it scared a lot of people. It scared a lot of people that, you know, they believe in the system, they believe in, you know, the way things work, and, you know, how can one person be so different, kind of thing. Like, it's like he's one of us, but he's so different at the same time. It was almost like, you know what I mean? Like, I formed a crowd, and then the crowd became a mob. And eventually the mob, like, has some sense of ruling power, and the mob takes over. And if you're not going to join with the mob, then you better be prepared to, like, redo everything in your life. You better be prepared to, like, redescribe what God is, and what family is, what friends are. And people get scared of that. People get afraid because it's like, it's something different. It's like these things that we all thought we knew and believed in changed, or whatever. And right, it sounds very basic. It's like, how could that be harmful? But if you're loud enough in saying that, it does scare people. It's just like, yeah, they're like, what are we doing here? What is life? You know, am I gonna make a mistake? Am I gonna mess up? What? You guys see this? You guys, that's unhinged. Anyone else see that? Sylvia Jeffress? Yo, it's been a while since I got a message like that. I'm telling you guys, if nobody else was in chat to see that, you guys are missing out. Somewhere in time, somebody's gonna rewatch this and see the chat, though, and see Sylvia coming. She needs D. What the? Saturday and Sunday. What is this? Yo, you guys, read that message from Sylvia real quick. I live in 1505 Bradford Drive, Greenwood, Missouri, 64034. I'm short, a little overweight, white brown hair. The race doesn't matter. Only come on Saturday and Sunday at 18 o'clock to 20 o'clock. I need D. What is this? What kind of comment is that? To be honest, I kind of love it. Yo, Presley, you seeing that? Yeah. I kind of love it when there's comments like that, though. Oh, what's this one? Yo, Sylvia. I'm sorry, but I don't believe that you're a real person. I think you're a scammer. Like, I'm just gonna say out loud. Either that, or you're just somebody having like a lot of fun with everybody. Like I used to, for some reason my streams, they used to be bigger. Oh, thanks, Sylvia. Thank you so much. I appreciate the compliment. I try to tell girls when they're cute. But the thing is like telling somebody that they're like attractive is like kind of embarrassing. It's just like, hey, listen, like I'm not gonna push my luck or like try to like push my boundaries or anything like that, but I think you're really cute. And just have a good day. I think it can stop at that, because there's nothing more like in life. There's almost nothing more like I think scary of chasing than trying to chase like sexual attraction. That's like the dragon that nobody can ever catch, guys. It's like, for me, it's something I don't touch. I never touch the idea that there's like this thing that I should chase, which is like this immaculate feeling that can be like, it's like a drug. Push my luck. Yeah, shut up. See, I used to get people that would join my chat that would be like FBI, that would be like Goku or Superman or Batman. Guys, I'm just treating this like that. It's like Superman joined my chat or whatever. Because I used to get people like that all the time. I used to get hundreds of people. I don't know what happened. It was just like, I was kind of going through something at that time and I kind of had to stop, but yeah, for a while there, my channel was like getting served to everybody, and it was like, I'd get 100 people in here and there'd be like a bunch of different people like this. I had some girls that used to join my stream because they liked like the stories I would tell. I used to just like all of a sudden break away and tell a story. You know, maybe the first coffee bean that was crushed kind of thing. Like I would just go off and just say like, you know, let's begin our story in Africa. Why? Because it's so hot. And the ground beneath your feet is actually what motivated you, not necessarily hunger. Because you were like the sun. You fed off of no one or nothing. And one day, one man, he said to his tribe, I can go longer than all of you without eating. If you see, I'm more like the sun than any of you. And he went off on his journey and said, I'll come back and prove it. And so he took 3 steps towards some ancient trail, and there was a warning sign. The sign said, next step is hell. And he said to himself, ancestors guide me, and he took up his feet and he fled. And he fled to a place that was often commonly said in their tribes. It was just something that was like spoken on the tongue, like it was for everybody but no one. And they often joked around that somebody could find this magical fruit that would make hunger go away. And on his journey, he realized that there was no food, there was no water. He couldn't stay. He had to keep his feet moving all day. And so on his journey, he came across all these stones and all these rocks. They pointed in different directions, like he didn't know which way to go. And along the way, he decided that no way was the best. And so he didn't take the rock's advice. He said, hunger is the thing that drives, and maybe we can be hungry for some absence of hunger, it seems. And so he said to himself, where is hunger the most? And he saw some great peak off in the distance. And he said, that way is the way that I'll go. maybe this peak was Mount Kilimanjaro. And on his way, he again met more things that said, go this way. He saw on the trees that all of a sudden directions were carved. And he thought maybe, just maybe, it's not necessarily the highest point in which I'll be starved. But he took the bark of this tree and he chewed it and tried. And it didn't really give him the feeling that much that he could survive. So he thought maybe the bark isn't the trick. If it's not rocks, if it's not bark, then I must just keep going. This isn't it. And so he kept going. Again, his feet burning on the sand, the dirt. But he had no plan, and that was his plan. The more he thought that he planned, he was going towards something. And he wanted to find hunger's initial place, the place in which it started the race, the place in which hunger was full. And it was just this idea that he knew could make him the hottest of all. So he just kept going, and he decided that maybe it wasn't towards this peak. Maybe this idea that climbing up to the highest point was obsolete. And he didn't really know what he was doing. He saw more signs, and he started seeing signs in the clouds. And at this point in time, not eating anything, he kind of thought to himself, maybe I'm just seeing things. Maybe these are all illusions. Signs in the clouds? Who sees those? And the clouds, they pointed this way and that. And he thought, which cloud do I listen to? And just like everything else, he tried to say, what are these clouds? And try to relate it to this hunger. The idea that it's just an idea. One that he could hold on to and be full with it and never be hungry again, so to speak. But hunger after all things. Be humble while he spoke. And he thought, if it's not rocks, if it's not trees, if it's not mountaintops, now the clouds, it seems, maybe it's across the water where I can get hotter. So he went and found a tree and he cut it down and he made a ship. And he thought maybe I should sail around and follow these clouds actually and be like them in the open blue, like the sky too. So he was sailing around and from land to land. And finally he came across another man. And yeah, my next stream I'll be in Missouri, right? Came across another man, finally. And he said, the man said to him, is hunger your plan? And this guy was out on a boat in the ocean too. And his ship was lined with all these beans that looked very earthy somehow, it seemed. And as his boat got closer and closer, they touched and it crushed one of these beans and it all fell into the water. And it was enough that as they mingled and talked and this bean mixed with the water, all of a sudden the man said, if you really want to get hotter, drink this seawater. And that's where the first coffee was brewed, out in the ocean, like storm clouds, who knew? and this man, he drank from this bean. It had been sun-dried and roasted, and he was full, it seemed, but he had his hunger. His hunger was for more. And then from then on, he was addicted to coffee at his core. That was a very long story. It's like an epic poem, but I used to have people that would just join just for that. They would just join and be like, tell me a story. Kind of went nowhere there for a long time, but anyways, there's some myth about the first man who drank coffee or whatever. But my coffee's room temperature now. I can drink it, actually. This has been a decent stream. I like to usually do some little recap based upon, you know what I mean, where I've been. Just kind of reflect for a minute. Just try to realize what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. Is this the best place for me to kind of go and, you know, interpret life? Which is what I ultimately feel like I'm doing. I'm just trying to read the signs. I'm just trying to see, you know, maybe if I can find that place of hunger. And maybe the man who tried the bean himself wasn't satisfied. In the end, it was just like he just tried, you know. But anyways, we've been going now for 48 minutes strong. Thank you for the like. Thank you. Yo, are Presley and Sylvia still here? That's wild though, Sylvia. I don't believe it. As much as I believe in the man who drank the first cup of coffee in the ocean as his ship crashed into another ship or whatever, and it was lined with coffee beans. Kind of a funny story though. I could probably refine it now and like retell it better than I did. But kind of feeling a little bit relaxed now, you know what I mean? Like my ADHD is being treated with this coffee or something. Right? Hey, what's up, Dontrell? I'm glad you're back, man. This is just my coffee and chill time. Grab a cup. Try to reward myself after the gym. All right, Presley, yeah, you take care, man. Glad you showed up. And yeah, maybe I'll be in like Missouri, right? But no, I don't. I used to get people like that joining my stream all the time. It's not real, dude. You can never believe in like, don't ever try and chase sex. Yeah, that's like my one rule in life is like never try and chase sex, dude. It's like, that's like the number one thing that will get you in trouble is if you try to do that. You'll be a creep, you'll be like weird, and like, it's something that you can never satisfy. Yeah, it was funny, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm just vibing and chilling, Dontrell, for sure. Yeah, it was funny. And like, I'm surprised that they actually like kept talking. It was like somebody who replied in chat, you know, too. But all right, Presley, I'm glad you were here for this first part of the day. I've been seeing a lot of you, so hopefully I can like, you know, something I've said was good. And that's my like wish for you for the day, so good luck with whatever your journey takes you to for the rest of your day. So, yeah, Dontrell, I just try to like center myself. Like, yeah, no problem, Presley. I just try and center myself a little bit, like, you know, like, how do I fit in? Go to some place that's public and just what's the reaction, you know, like, how do I react to myself is kind of like the biggest thing. I like to, you know, while I was running, it was much more of like, you can do it, you get this done, like, life is sort of like the run or whatever. But here it's more of like, you know, how do I react to just me? How do I react to myself? Like, you'd think that you should always be comfortable, but that's why I say that there's a part of ourselves that like must live on in like everybody else. It's like this part of ourselves that is maybe the most true part. Facts, yeah. It's like, it might be like the most true part of ourselves that like live on in everything, that lives on in everything else. Because if it's just you, you don't feel like things are complete. You feel like something's missing and you're trying to connect with something. And I think that that might be the most permanent aspect of the soul. Yo, what's up, Big Smoka? Thanks, man. It's good to see you too. It's been a minute. It's been a minute, bro. I love seeing this. I love seeing people old, you know what I mean? Like people that keep coming back. It gives me motivation. But I love seeing you in chat, Big Smoka. We've had some good chats. And Dontrell, you know what I mean? Like, today I think is the first day I saw you in chat, but you know what I mean? It's been good. We hit that mile hard. It's been a while since I've ran on the treadmill. It's just harder than doing the elliptical. It's just like it's more on your joints and your knees and your back and stuff like that. So, you know, facts, right? That's fact. As my brother says, I have a brother. He's like, he kind of got over it for a while, but he, like, I would say something, he would always just be like, "That's facts." That's facts, man. It was cool. I love my brothers. Something in my life that I love more than anything almost is I love my brothers. Like, just these two dudes that, like, they're so cool. You know what I mean? Like, I love my brothers so much. So, yeah, strengthen the mind, my friend. Like, you know what I mean? Like, in some ways, I always try to make things more automatic, right? It's like, how can I view the world that like makes something easier? How can I view the world that makes something easier? But at the same point in time, it's like, I just need to challenge myself as well. You've been subscribed for 4 months? Oh, nice, man. Thank you. Thank you for finally saying something. It's nice to finally chat. Osama bin Laden in chat, guys. See, I told you. I told you guys, it gets ridiculous sometimes. Maybe I am speaking to spirits. Hey, did you finally change, Osama? Did you guys know that Osama bin Laden like went to school in America and like did all this stuff in America? He was like he like had pictures with like faculty and like all this stuff. He was like highly trained in like the Western world. Yeah, but I really appreciate that, Dontrell, because it makes me feel like legitimized. You know what I mean? Like, it makes me feel like completely legitimized in like this pathway that I'm set out on. I don't know where it ends up, guys. Like, it scares me. Like, I'm just gonna say, like, it kind of scares me. Like, I don't know where it ends up. Your search history? What is it? How to like make nuclear bombs or whatever? Or is it on how to like process oil? I don't know. The war on terror is really interesting. But I'll tell you I'll tell you what's almost as interesting as the war on terror is like George W. Bush or whatever. Not senior, but junior. That guy's kind of an interesting guy. You look at all the other presidents we have, and he's like really different. He like actually knows how to dance, kind of, and like this one guy like threw shoes at him. Stop, say about your search history. Have you guys ever heard of this book called The Anarchist Guide? Like, I had a roommate once in college. When I was studying philosophy, like one thing I studied at this place called Utah State University. I studied philosophy, and one of my roommates had this book called like The Anarchist's Guide or something like that, and it was like how to like sow like chaos and or something. Tell you about America in 2024. Well, it's over, man. 2024 is gone. 2024 for me, dude, was a challenge though, dude. Like I've had to relearn so many things. I've had to reassess what life is and what my place is, and I've had to try to like teach other people like about my situation. You know what I mean? It's like it's been a very personal year for me. It's, you know, but on the big thing, you all know what the big thing of 2024 is like artificial intelligence. AI, dude. 2024, if I could sum up 2024, I'd sum it up in AI. It was all about AI, and it still kind of is. Like that has carried over into 2025. All about artificial intelligence. All of a sudden, you see people in school like using artificial intelligence to like do their tests, write their papers, and teachers have to like like look at different like their papers and stuff like that to try like cross-reference to see if they use like AI or Chat GPT to like write their papers for them. It's been wild, like, and they write good papers. You know what I mean? Like AI writes pretty decent things, and it can tell you like the answers to questions on tests. But AI, that's the highlight of 2024, and it's still going. Elon Musk came out and said he like cracked AI, but he really didn't. He just kind of like told everyone he did. You like January 7th, 2025 in America? Nice. It's a good day. But I don't know what happened on that day. What do you mean January 7th? Was there like something happened that I'm not aware of? But kind of like me, thanks. Yeah, I've been doing this for a while. The big thing is, like, I'll tell you what is hard about streaming. You almost always have to be talking, and you almost always have to be talking about something. Like, when you first start your stream, it actually helps. It feels kind of weird. Like, it feels kind of really weird, but you need to start talking. You need to start, like, telling a story. You need to start, like, thinking about something. You need to start saying what you're thinking about. And like, what's gonna happen is like one person will join, they'll leave. 2 or 3 people will join, they'll leave. One person joins, they leave. And you just have to keep talking through it. Where am I from? I'm from Utah. But I don't like to get any more specific than that, just because I like to maintain my anonymity online, kind of. But I'm from Utah. I grew up in Utah all my life. I've traveled the world, though. I've never been to the Middle East, but I've been to like Russia and Japan and stuff. Not for very long, just for like a week or 2. So I have been to like the Far East. And I've been to the Mediterranean, like Greece and Greece and Italy and the UK and stuff like that. So yeah, man, I'm from Utah, but yeah, the tough thing about streaming is just you have to maintain like multiple conversations too. Like you just got to keep talking. Then somebody will say something, then you have something to talk about, but then all of a sudden people leave, they want to listen, they get disinterested. You have to go back to the previous conversation you were talking about. Yeah, what's my address? Pain, yeah. You know what? Sometimes I wonder a lot about pain or fear is like my big thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, which came first, pain or fear? Maybe God ran from himself. You know what I mean? Maybe God was in so much pain or God was in so much fear that he ran away from himself. And that's what God is. That's what God is like disproving God. God likes to disprove himself because the more that he does, the more that life means something. And that's what God is meaning. Okay? There could be something there. But I definitely switch back and forth, like, you know, but it only takes time. My big thing to that, like if you're going to be negative, kind of, all it takes is just a little bit more time. And then you can switch that negativity into positivity. It's like, then you could say like, what was in the beginning? Truth. You know what I mean? Like what was in the beginning? Courage. Maybe God does prove God. Maybe everything knows that everything is connected. Yo, what's up, Boris Jackson? Welcome to the stream, man. We've been going for like an hour now, but see, you can switch it. Like, it's just a matter of, I like to let people just be in whatever state they're in. Like, if you're in a state of pain, I'm not going to take that away from you. If you're in a state of suffering, I'm not going to take that away from you. Like, I like to let people be in whatever state they're in, right? And so for me, I think that in time, everything changes, and maybe time was the first thing then. Maybe time is what God is because it allows everything to be expressed. And so God understood that God would change, and so God tried to become like something beyond time. But the more that God does that, it's like the more that we're just caught up in time and we think that there is no God kind of thing. You know, God, because we have to be, we're subjects to time. You can sit there and just keep like spinning on your head about like all those things. And it's just like I said, it's a matter of time. It changes. Like you can make a pretty good argument for like most like primal senses or primal like type of experiences that a human being has. You can sort of sit there and switch back and forth between all those things. So I don't know, man, maybe it was pain, maybe it's truth, maybe it's honesty, maybe it's time, you know? And maybe it's time for me to end the stream. I don't know, my coffee's almost gone. Been here for an hour. It's been good. Actually, the stream picked up. It's been good. It kind of goes up, and like I said, you just have to keep going. You know, like nobody enjoys just seeing a guy sit here drink coffee or whatever. You know. But the funny thing is I used to just walk on the treadmill and get like 100 people. Like, and so you never know. Like the internet is a wild place. It's unpredictable. You never know if you're gonna get like 100 people or like one person. And you never know what it's gonna like be from what you're doing. Like, is it gonna be because you're like, yo, what's up, Awakened Demon? Good to see you, my friend. It's been a minute. It's been a while. Didn't you say there was a problem with your job or something like that in Japan? Last time I spoke with you, it was like you said everything was going good except for one thing or something. Oh, you're totally fine, man. I know that you like during this journey, like the last time that we spoke consistently, like you were living in Greece or something, and you were like thinking about moving to Japan to become a chef or whatever. And I think now you, like the last time you spoke to me, it's like you had moved to Japan, but there was like some problem. It was a mistake, really? What happened, man? I'm like curious to know. I'm curious to hear what happened with your move. Oh, it was good? Okay. That's good then. That's good to hear. What do you, yo, Big Smoker, what's up? When we think about humans compared to animals and then animals compared to plants and bacteria, does that mean that God compared to humans is proof that God is another form of life? I think that God is, you know what I mean? Like, if we try to like listen to everything that everybody said over time, it's like, I think God navigates between three things. It's like, to have some experience in life, we have to have some perspective and we have to judge. We have to come to terms with something. We can say God is physical, God is non-physical, or God is time, which, you know what I mean? Like, if God is time, I think it's more along your line. You know, what's up, Sleepy Joe? Welcome. Welcome, Sleepy Joe. But I think probably the closest thing to like saying that God is another form of life, which is something interesting to think about, you know what I mean? Maybe we're animals to God kind of thing or whatever, like, but I think everything is connected and separated at the same time. Yo, Sleepy Joe's doing good, good. So how am I? I'm doing good. I'm doing better than I have been. You know, like I've just really tried to communicate with people around me and be supportive and be like non-combative and just say like, if I want to express my beliefs, I can keep them private. I don't have to teach everybody what I think. But yeah, I think the Big Smoke, I think the best way to say what God is yeah, nice. I think you meant to say nice. Thanks. It's just God is time. Like, because then God is somehow nothing at the same time that he's something. You know, because he changes so much. Like, God is nothing. And that allows God to exist outside of time. YouTube link video to what? I don't know if I want to click on your link, Sleepy Joe. Mr. Sleepy Jojo. Oh, I love this song. Is it ABBA? I think it's ABBA. I love Mamma Mia because I love like the Greek Isles or whatever. I'm very attracted to the story of Hercules and all the, you know, people there. Please click. I don't see the YouTube link either. All right, yeah. Hey, no problem, Demon. Whatever you're cooking, bro, I hope that you put love into it and you make it like it's a representation of you. You know what I mean? I hope that you're able to like feel like you are heard and that you are something that fits in and has a place and like you're good too. Like you're good at what you do. I really hope that you feel that. Miss Big Surprise, Sleepy Joe? I don't even see your link. Yeah, you have a good day too, Demon. But I think Big Smoker though, I think trying to understand what God is if he's another life form, there's no better way to say it other than to say it like God is nothing. Bye. See ya, Demon. Made you sad, what? I don't even see your link, dude. It's like you said join your link, but I don't even see it, so. I don't see it. Please what? It doesn't show I'm on my phone right now. I'm using my mobile device. This is what I miss though. I miss people joining with like the wild names. That's always the funnest part. I'll tell you guys what though, I'm cooked right now. Like this caffeine, I'm like cooked with this caffeine right now, guys. For some reason it hit me hard today. Usually it doesn't hit me this hard. Like I don't feel like it actually does much, you know what I mean? But I'm like smoked right now. Totally cooked. For some reason, I don't know why. It's the same thing I got yesterday. I had the same amount of caffeine. I just feel so jittery, you know? Anyways, I might end this stream pretty soon. We've been going for an hour. Cold coffee, yeah. I like a nice during the summer, a nice cold caramel macchiato. Yeah, that's what it is. From Starbucks. A nice big cup of caramel macchiato iced. And then at the very end you get like a big slurp of like caramel. It's like a real treat. I hope this doesn't interfere with like my exercises though. Like I think coffee is like a light enough thing. I'm not getting like muffins and stuff while I'm here, like pastries. I'm just getting a cup of coffee which has like a little bit of milk in it. What did he say, Ham? Yo, what's up, Ham? Where's Sandwich at, bro? Did I see what Dr. Phil said? Am I live streaming later? Yeah, of course. I'll get on like, I gotta go and have breakfast and do some other things, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'll be live streaming. I'll get back on. I'll be on probably Diablo, like working on my character, my gaming character on my computer, where it's like I have the video like showing me from far away or whatever. Yo, Ham, what does Dr. Phil say about caffeine? Gets me up, dude. I get up and I drink an energy drink and stream, and then I get out to the gym, and then I come and have a cup of coffee. You know? It's definitely a drug, though. Like, that's for sure. I'm done, though. Can I play PS2 games on my PC? Yeah. I can play PS2 games. In my dream last night, I was at like my aunt's and uncle's house, and it was like we were having a family reunion, and I built a computer, but in my dream it was the most powerful computer on the planet. I built a computer that was the most powerful computer on the entire planet. At least that's what it was in my dream. I told them, I was like, okay, like it's done, I finished it. And like I had this really vivid moment. This is kind of weird. GTA 3, maybe I'll play some, you want to know what I'm gonna definitely stream though, Smoka, is I'm gonna definitely stream GTA 6. Like when GTA 6 comes out, I'll definitely stream that. Like for sure, man. For sure I'll stream that. It's gonna be a big game. It's gonna be a big day for streamers. It'll be a real big day for streamers when GTA 6 comes out. Like everybody's gonna be on. But it'll be good, guys, like especially for this community, like it'll be really good for this community because we'll get to get out there and like mingle with other communities and stuff. There'll be a lot of people playing. It'll be real nice. So whenever that comes out, I don't know when, everybody does the joke, you know what I mean? Like that we got what's something ridiculous? Oh yeah. Like we got Elon doing the Sig Heil like before GTA 6 or whatever. kind of thing. Like we got Sig Heil or whatever before GTA 6, Elon Musk. But I don't know, it's got to come out like sometime, like, because GTA 5, I know everybody still streams that, but GTA 5, like, it's been out for a while, man. Like years. I know, right? First off, it's probably like graphics update. It's gonna make the gaming industry kind of drives the computer industry a little bit. You know what I mean? Because everybody's gonna have to have better processors and better graphics cards and whatever else. You know what I mean? Like, it's definitely gonna have some of that with it because that always goes along with it. Whatever. There'll be a story. There'll be a new story that you have to go and do and work with the mob and whatever else. Like, work with the mafia. Time cycle of days at normal speed. That'd be wild though. Get on at night and it's always night, kind of thing. But maybe it'll be more like another game. Maybe you can like upgrade your character or something. I don't know. Just like improve your character, like a skill tree or something like that. Who knows, man? Who knows? But I think I'm gonna end this stream. My coffee's all gone, and we've been going strong for like an hour 10 or something. So you want to mod GTA 6, like, you can, I'll tell you what, if you spend more than like $1,500, you're spending too much, is all I'll say. Like, you can spend whatever you want. Look around, people are always selling electronics on like classified ads, so go check out some classified ads, you know, and online classified ads, and see if you can't find a PC that somebody's selling, and type in like gaming PC or something like that, because people are always selling stuff, reselling their things, you know what I mean, kind of thing. Yo, what's up, Sleepy Joe? I'm just about to end the stream, Sleepy. I'm gonna go and get started on everything else for the day, so been a long one though. Fact. But all right, guys, I'm gonna wave goodbye and I'm gonna end. I'll see you next time. See ya.